Well, Happy New Year, everybody. And we're starting 2017 off right because I'm finally back on my primary channel. Yeah, that bullshit strike on my account was finally lifted, so now I can stream again from the Full Killer 99 channel. Yay! And we're also starting off 2017 in frustrating fashion, unfortunately, because I'm getting a message here that says, looks like you're using an older version of your browser. Please update it to use the live chat. And that's why there's no chat room next to the video. Sorry, I just noticed that right before I was going to start streaming, and I didn't really have the time to update the browser. So I'll try to work that out for next time. So my apologies for that. But I don't really know if I have a whole lot to say about this show anyway. So I don't know how active the chat room was going to be, but I'll do my best. Anywho, I guess most of the talking points would be about stuff not related to what happened on the show, mostly backstage stuff. I'll try to cover all that stuff. Anyway, let's get to it. First Impact review of 2017. I apologize in advance for my voice. It's giving me a lot of trouble again. That's why I got my tea here. Man. Chronic allergies really suck. Because I'm dealing with this shit every day. My voice used to be a lot better than this. Alright, here we go. So, welcome to the Anthem era. The first Impact of the new regime, and Anthem as the official owners, the official majority owners of Impact Wrestling. And they were not shy about letting everyone know that. They're mentioning Anthem constantly. The logo is all over the place. There's going to be a new Impact logo incorporating the Anthem graphic. I saw it, by the way. It looks like shit. And that's about it for now. There were no other big changes on the show, really. I guess Anthem had time to put their logo on the ring apron, but not enough time to revamp the show itself. To be continued on that until we see what they do at the next set of TV tapings in March. But anyway, on to the show. So the Impact proper begins with Eddie Edwards, still the world champion, talking about wanting to start the new year off right, and he teases a big surprise for the Wolves Nation, wink. But he's interrupted pretty quickly by Lashley, who wants a rematch, and then by EC3, who wants a rematch. And, once again, we're seeing this problem of Eddie kind of fading into the background when, more natural speakers start to invade his segments. The problem does not seem to be getting any better. And, it's getting more and more noticeable. But anyway, after these guys say their piece, Eddie suggests that they have a triple threat match, which is odd since it looked like they were it almost looked like they were promoting a fatal four-way on social media in that graphic. And then Eddie reminds everybody about that big surprise that he mentioned just a few moments prior, because we're all idiots and need to be beaten over the head that Davey is coming back tonight. It's all pretty standard, run-of-the-mill type stuff for setting up a main event. It's not bad, but it's obvious pretty quickly that if you were hoping for any big sweeping changes to the product with the new ownership, well, you're not going to get that here. And the big thing that bugged me about this was that they telegraphed the living hell out of Davey's big return. Why, when you have a live show for the first time in ages, when live shows are so rare in general for this company, that you have something that is a legitimate surprise, a legitimate shocker for the people watching at home, would you not want to actually play that as a surprise? Why would you want to basically tell everyone that it's coming? Okay, when you make everyone expect Davey, then you've ruined the main event because we all know that nothing important is going to happen until Davey shows up. That's always going to be a problem when you tape the shows months in advance, but this was fucking live! Why would you spoil that? Stupid! Anyway, moving on, we have a Grand Championship match with Moose defending against his former friend turned bitter enemy, Mike Bennett. Moose at one point hits a moonsault off the second turnbuckle. Jesus Christ. I continue to be astonished at how agile that guy is for a man his size. But anyway, Mike wins round 1 by split decision. Moose wins round 2 by split decision. And then they go to the third round, which once again is decided by split decision. Now this is when they're hitting all the big high impact moves. It comes right down to the wire. It's actually a pretty exciting finish. And Moose retains, split decision. And I think, this is debatable, but I think this may have been the best match, in my opinion, the best match since they started this 3-round format deal. And I'd be perfectly fine if they wanted to just end it, because I don't think it's really displayed anything notable that makes it worth keeping around. But if they decided to roll with the 3-round stuff for a while, I'm glad we're getting. I hope we'll be getting more matches like this, because this may have been the best one. I think this was a really strong example of how they can make the 3-round format work, because in the past we've been getting matches where I guess they use the 3-round thing, but it doesn't really feel as crucial or important as it probably should. Here, it's a big factor when you go to the judges, and when it's a split decision every time, it's like, okay, the judges' decisions were really important. The round structure was really important. It all factored into the match, and it all came together really well and made it exciting. And that was a good example of how to make the format work. And I feel like they've never really, never quite figured out how to make that work. But this was a good example of how it can. So I like that a lot. I also like that Maria never really got involved. Some people are speculating that Mike might leave the company when Maria does. But if he's sticking around, then I like that they're letting him do stuff on his own without Maria's interference, because he's got to be able to do that if she eventually leaves and he stays. So even though he lost, he still looked really strong, because he took Moose right down to the wire, and it was a really close match that could have gone either way. So I like that a lot. Good match. Good segment. Unfortunately, it was followed by something that was not so good. Rockstar Spud. Oh, man. Poor Rockstar Spud. What are they doing to this poor bastard? Rockstar Spud challenges Hornswoggle to a match because Hornswoggle is still around. Wasn't enough to use him for Tag Team Apocalypto. No, they had to bring him back, because that's what the fans want to see is Hornswoggle. And he comes out with music and graphics, so he may be joining the roster. Wow. I kind of at a loss for words. Apparently Grado will not be involved in this set of TV tapings, so we're free from Grado, but we got Hornswoggle in there now. Wow. So, Spud wants revenge on Hornswoggle for turning on him during Tag Team Apocalypto. And then what follows is a squash match. Just not the one I was hoping for. Yeah, Rockstar Spud gets squashed by fucking Hornswoggle. I want to know who booked this. I want to know who thought it was a good idea to do this. And I want to know why that person has not been fired yet. Why are they doing this to Rockstar Spud? This guy is one of their best talents. He's one of the most underrated guys on their roster. He's one of the best talkers. He's got more charisma than a lot of other people they use. He's always really entertaining. And this is a guy who is so talented. I don't know why Their MO lately is just to humiliate this poor fucker. What are they doing? This guy could be doing a lot more. And then afterward, he gets fed up and quits. Now, thankfully, we've learned since this show aired that this was just an angle, and it's leading to him being like re-gimmicked and reintroduced. But there was no better way to do that than jobbing him out to a fucking baby and now to a midget. You know, and considering the way he's been treated lately, I was honestly not sure if this was a shoot or a work. Because if it was a shoot, I would have believed it. Yeah, we apparently we lost Mandrews. He's going off to do the WWE UK tournament thing. And I was kind of half expecting Rockstar Spud to show up. I wouldn't have expected him to win the thing, but it's like, yeah, like I said in the TN Asylum forums, it's like, well, getting paid lots of money to job to legit cruiserweights versus getting paid less money to job to a baby and a midget. I mean, if I was Rockstar Spud, it would not have been a difficult choice. Now, thankfully, he's sticking around. I hope and pray that they'll start treating him better, because that guy, he's one of their best talents. He could be doing a lot more, and he's really underutilized right now, and it's annoying to me. Very annoying. But I'll tell you what was not annoying. The Fact of Life with your illustrious host, Eli Drake. And this was great because he had the broken, obsolete Hardys as his guests. Well, I guess they're just broken now because Jeff is not obsolete anymore. He doesn't have to be Brother Nero anymore because Matt apparently released him from his obsoleteness. Apparently that was done on like the recap show that I didn't watch the week before. I guess so. Brother Nero has repaid his debt to Broken Matt, and now he's allowed to be himself again. But he's still kind of acting the same way, though. So I don't know what's going on there. So anyway, we got the Fact of Life. They're not using the Fact of Life talk show set anymore, which is annoying because that was really funny. I wish they'd go back to using that. That was awesome. But anyway, it's a really funny segment. We actually get dueling Eli Drake and delete chants. I hope TNA have something big planned for Eli Drake. This guy is really catching on. But the main purpose of this segment is to, get over that Eli Drake is butthurt that he was not involved in Tag Team Apocalypto. I guess he didn't get an engraved invitation, so he didn't show up. He wants the tag titles now. And, Matt is fine with this. He says, like, take your best shot, you obsolete mule, whatever. And basically, the whole point of this was to set up a title match, not on Impact, but on the One Night Only show that was on Friday night. I didn't see it. I had stuff to do, but they actually promoted a match for a One Night Only show. Holy shit. Is this the first time this has ever happened? I vaguely recall them doing it maybe once or twice before, but what a concept. You actually promote matches for the One Night Only show, have them, you give them at least some kind of connective tissue with Impact, and maybe more people might watch it. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I don't normally bother with the One Night Only shows is because they take place in a vacuum. It's like whatever happens on a One Night Only pay-per-view, it might as well not even exist because it's never acknowledged on the main show. Like some new talent debuts on a One Night Only show, then he shows up on Impact and they act like it's the first time they've seen him. But if there's some kind of continuity between Impact and One Night Only, it suddenly makes them a lot more relevant. It's crazy, right? So, good. Good for them. This should have been done a long fucking time ago. And so, after this, we have a match between Decay versus the Helms Dynasty. So, Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett are apparently not taking it personally that Shane Helms tried to bury them alive during Tag Team Apocalypto. If I were them, I'd hold a grudge about something like that. But now they're cool with it. It says, nah, fuck it, dude, just one of those things. We still good. kind of hoping they'd come out cosplaying as 3 Count again. But 'twas not to be. The Decay have new music. Probably because Billy Corgan is now gone officially, so they don't have the rights to the Nobodies anymore. But Jesus Christ, going from Marilyn Manson to Dale Oliver? That is unfortunate. It's actually not bad music, though. Not Manson, but he's not the worst track they've ever come up with. There's a funny moment in this match where Shane Helms jumped in the ring and tried to chokeslam Abyss. But anyway, it ends with Rosemary misting Helms, and then leads to the Decay getting the win. I have no problem with that. I like seeing the Decay win. I like seeing them being booked to look strong. I don't like the Helms Dynasty losing like this, though. I think the match should have gone longer. I think the Helms Dynasty should have looked stronger because, look, the tag team division is still not in great shape, and you've got a great potential tag team in Lee and Everett. So I'd like to see them be protected a little bit more than they are. So that is a little unfortunate there. Still, hey, the Decay get a strong win to lead us into what happened next, which is the lights going off, and then they're coming back on, and the DCC being there to attack them with the beer bottles. And that actually makes sense because, Bram has that, little bit of history with Rosemary from what happened between them last summer. So if they could connect this feud back to that, it would actually, put a little more gas in the fire here. So that's cool. It is unfortunate that the last time they had any real interaction was when the DCC were kind of made to be a bit of a joke during Tag Team Apocalypto. But, hey, this kind of remedies that. And hopefully they won't be made to look like a joke in this feud. Not sure who I'd like to win this, because they both kind of need wins right now. But, hey, I'm not saying no to the feud. And it's good to see the Decay back in some kind of feud so they're not just being put in place filler matches for Team X Gold. So that's a positive change. So after this, we have Maria calling out Allie, and Maria and her little entourage there, including Laurel Van Ness, who, Jesus Christ, did you see the dress she was wearing? Oh my God. I may joke that she looks like a giraffe, because Maria always loves to remind Allie that Laurel is better than her because she's tall. So I kind of joke that she's a giraffe, but my God, that was one sexy giraffe. Whew! Holy fuck! So Maria is really pissed at Allie now because Allie's starting to get the better of her, and since Allie started standing up for herself, so she's like, "You want to be a wrestler, Allie? You want to be a wrestler?" And she challenges Allie to wrestle like right now. And so again, Allie stands up for herself, and the crowd is just eating this up. It might as well be the Allie zone at this point. So we see Allie versus Sienna, and this is actually booked really well because we see Laurel Van Ness on the outside. She's trying to flirt with Braxton Sutter, who's like Allie's coach at this point, and he's not really having it, but it distracts Allie, which leads to Sienna getting the cheap shot while she's distracted, and she goes for the pin, but Allie still kicks out. So Allie is being very well protected here, and then it happens again later on, but after she kicks out, Allie gets pissed off, and she kind of hulks up. They do like the Allie Sienna version of Hulk and Andre, where she keeps trying to slam Sienna, but she can't do it, and then she gets pissed off, and she hulks up, and she finally does it, and it's pretty funny, actually. But then we have Laurel Van Ness getting really flirty with Sutter, and she's kind of all over him, and again, he's not really having it, but it distracts Allie a second time, and then Sienna hits the silencer, and finally it's over. So Allie loses, but she still looks good doing it. And there's this really weird moment at the post-match where Sutter doesn't look happy about what happened, but he still goes with the heels backstage. And he doesn't look like it's voluntary. He kind of looks like he's forced into it, and I don't understand why. They've got nothing on him, but he's still going with them, even though he looks unhappy about the whole situation. So why did I was unclear on what they were going for with that. But I thought it was booked very well, you know? Allie continues to look strong, and because of the nature of her character, she doesn't necessarily have to win to gain momentum. It's enough that she still, she put up a good fight. Because, Allie, she's the underdog character. She's the novice, even though we know she's not. But she's finally standing up for herself and finally showing that she can actually defend herself in matches and stuff. And for the moment, it's enough that she can do that. Because even that is like a step forward for the character that was like kind of meek and helpless not that long ago. So that was all really well done, even though I don't understand what the Sutter thing is alluding to. It's like, why is he going with them if he doesn't like them, Didn't understand that part. So then they announced a bunch more matches for the Friday One Night Only show, including a 4-way X Division match, which Rockstar Spud is in. So a few minutes after he quit, he's announced for an X Division title match on a pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't know how that happens. But after this, we go to our world title match. Eddie Edwards defending the championship against EC3 and Bobby Lashley. It's a good match. We know it's going to be a good match. There was one really cool spot. We got Eddie choking out, EC3 choking out Eddie, and then Lashley spears both of them into the exposed turnbuckle. I really like that spot. But, despite the match being very good, once again, we know the really crucial part is not going to come until Davey shows up. Because they telegraphed that so much, it's hard to focus on the match, because you might as well just be looking at the stage waiting for Davey to run down there. And that's exactly what happens. Lashley is about to hit Eddie with the belt, and then Davey shows up and take the belt away, and then Eddie wins, and that's all she wrote. And again, why wouldn't they keep that a surprise? Why did they have to basically just tell people that he's coming? It's a live show! Why are you spoiling a surprise on a live show? It makes no sense to me. Good to see Davey back, but the impact this had versus the impact it would have had if it was a surprise. It was just, I was not on board with that decision at all. It just seemed like such a no-brainer to try to keep it under wraps until he showed up. I don't know what they were thinking with that. It really should have been a surprise. Also, I felt like there should have been a title change here. I really do. I think Eddie's title reign, God bless the guy. I'm happy for him, but how do I say this? It's like I'm not really buying the title reign anymore. I was okay with him getting a short reign, but it's not really a short reign now. It's like they're pushing him as a legit top guy who's getting with multiple wins over Lashley in a row, and like I'm just not buying it anymore. Lashley is starting to look like the underdog against Eddie Edwards, and that's just not the way it should be. It feels like this title reign is kind of going on past its natural endpoint, and this Eddie-Lashley rivalry in particular feels like it's on the verge of being dragged out too long. I think something needs to change about this dynamic. Maybe they're going to, hopefully they'll at least insert somebody else into the title picture, and I suspect it's going to be Davey. That would be my guess. I think they may end up doing an Eddie versus Davey program, seeing as Davey said he wants to retire this year. I would like to see Davey get a shot at the title before he retires. But I figured they'd do that at Destination X and have him cash in Option C or something. To do Eddie versus Davey for the title now, I don't know. I wanted the person to beat Eddie for the title to be James Storm. Goddammit, doesn't look like that's in the cards at the moment though. To be continued. Look, hey, great to see Davey back. He's been out with an injury for quite a while. It was actually cleared in November, I believe, but I don't know, the way they chose to book his return, I think could have been a lot more effective. if they just kept the surprise under wraps. I wouldn't say this was an awful Impact, although there were certainly some bad things about it. I suppose the most disappointing thing was that they're playing up another new era, another new beginning, and a lot of it just felt like they were treading water. Of course, all these shows were probably mostly written before the new creative team with the returning Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantell really kicked in, so it's likely they were treading water to a certain extent. I've seen the taping results. We're going to get more stuff happening. There's going to be more changes start to pop up, but for this week, it just kind of felt like they were in a holding pattern. And so that was my thoughts on Impact. I guess I should give my thoughts on Jarrett and Mantell returning before we wrap this up. I was really uneasy about it. I did not want to subject Jeff Jarrett to any temptation, because when he's on the show, it almost seems inevitable at this point that he's going to try to make the show all about him. Luckily, I'm hearing that part of the deal of him returning is that he cannot appear on screen. And if that's the case, if it's just a backstage role, then this could be a good thing. With Mantell coming back, I suspect the booking of the knockouts might improve. Not that it's bad, but again, last year it was just hot potato title change after meaningless title change after hot potato title change and so on. That was the whole year for the knockouts. It was just not the best booking of the Knockouts Championship in 2016. So if Mantell's coming back, we could see a positive change there, because he did play a part in the knockout division in the early days. Him and back when the booking of them was really nice. And who knows, maybe we'll see Scott D'Amore back. Who knows? That'd be cool too. So now, having lost Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana, obviously they did need to sign more, bring in more creative people for the writing team. But I'm really torn on this, because it's like they're going back to what was done before instead of trying to move forward, I was kind of hoping that maybe they'd give some new writers a shot, not like former WWE people, but just go out and, I don't know, find some TV writers or something somewhere. It's just going back to people they used previously. Well, we already kind of know what they're going to bring to the table, and it's not anything that's going to push the needle forward in any significant way. We might see the product improve, but it's just going to be back in that same bubble that the show was always in. And they might bring some stability and some familiarity, but again, it's not. The wrestling world is not going to be set on fire if it's Jarrett and Mantell booking again. So I think that's it. Again, sorry for there being no chat room. I guess I have to update my browser or something. So I'll try to fix that before the next stream. So, happy 2017, everybody. We're back on the primary channel again. And hopefully there won't be any more bullshit strikes put on my account. In the event that happens, we got the backup channel now. And most of you guys know about it. So go ahead and subscribe to that. And but we should be staying on this one from now on. So sorry we were doing this on Sunday again. I had to work Saturday. Couldn't be helped. So once again, subscribe to my, follow me on Twitter at TheRealFK9. When I have to push the stream to a different day, there's always an update on that. There's, notices on Twitter. I always put those on there. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. I will see you soon. Is Comic Show Post Show back on Thursday? I think so, because at least S.H.I.E.L.D. is back. I don't know about Arrow and Flash. I will talk to you guys on Thursday for the mid-season premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., at least. Maybe Arrow and Flash, too, I don't know. But I'll talk to you guys on Thursday. Until then, Thanks for tuning in, and peace out.